So Louise, welcome aboard our Boeing 737-800 replica that we've got at Flight Experience Melbourne. Today we're going to be taking off out to the west here at Miami, making a circuit around to the left and then coming back into land. We're going to do 2 circuits, so take off, land and land twice here at Miami, then we'll go to Hong Kong. Okay, so when we're taking off and landing here for our circuit, what we're going to do is get the aircraft up into the air, come back around, and on the first landing we're just going to touch down, keep rolling, and take off again. Call it touch and go.
Touch and go.
Okay, and then on the second one we'll come around, full stop landing. We're actually going to use the brakes and stop the aircraft. So let's talk about quickly how we're going to take off. The yoke is going to control where the nose is pointing. So if you pull back, nose goes up, push forward, nose goes down. Turning to the left, we'll roll the aircraft to the left, and right, we'll roll the aircraft to the right. Now the rudder pedals, very different. When you push them in, they turn the nose left and they turn the nose right. So when we're taxiing, when we're taking off and landing, you want to use those rudder pedals to steer. We don't want to do this.
Yes.
Okay, so keep this nice and straight, steer with those rudder pedals. Now, when we're traveling very slowly, the rudder, it doesn't do anything. We need to use the tiller on the far left-hand side to steer the nose wheel. So that will control the wheel underneath us, steering left and right. So we'll use that to taxi out around here onto the runway. When we're taking off, we'll use those rudder pedals. When we want to go in the air, we pull back and we rotate. Okay? In front of you, you'll see your primary flight display. Little instrument, the black dot, needs to come up to 15 degrees.
15.
That's it. So you can see 10, 20 would be up here somewhere, so 15 is just in there. That's good. Raising it to 15, keeping the wings nice and level. So those 2 wings, 1 and 2, nice and flat as we climb out. Climbing to 3,000 feet, and at the moment we're at about 10 feet, 20 feet. Okay, on the left hand side, we want to be looking for 132 knots. That's our rotate speed. So when you hear me say a rotate, pull back, up we go. At the moment, 30 is the lowest number it reads. Okay, very good. Over to our thrust levers. We've got 2 thrust levers there for the engines. Forwards, more thrust. Backwards, less thrust. Flap lever, basically on the right hand side there, the flap lever. What we'll do to adjust the flaps is lift up, forwards and down. Exactly. Up, forwards and back. 15, exactly. Using 5 for the takeoff. So we'll set flaps to 5. When we start to climb, we'll go 1 and then we'll go 0. For the landing, we'll use about 30. Yep. Now when we set thrust, pushing forwards on those thrust levers backwards, you're going to be looking up the top here at the 2 N1 gauges. Okay, those 2 gauges show how much thrust you've got. If you want to set 60%, you push those little markers up to 6, you wait, and then the engine power will very slowly come up to 60%. Okay, if you want 30%, set that marker to 30%, and then very slowly the engine comes back and stops at 30%. Okay, when we do our landing, the second landing, full stop landing, reverse thrust, and that'll help us slow down. Okay, we also have the speed brake there to help us slow down during the second landing. Pulling up, back, that will lift the speed brake up, exactly. But when we're coming into land, when we're on the approach, we'll just arm them. So just up, back to armed, speed brake will be armed. When we touch down, the lever automatically will come back by itself. And then when we're finished landing, we just push it back in. Alrighty? The landing gear lever, lots of information. The landing gear lever, same sort of thing, you pull out and all the way up to raise the landing gear, out and down to bring the landing gear down. So down, up, and in the middle is off. Alright, sound good?
Good.
Fantastic. Let's get a takeoff clearance. So Experience 556 ready for takeoff, runway 27, Miami.
Flight Experience 556, line up.
Line up, Experience 556. Let's turn on the 2 fixed landing lights. So you can push those 2 silver switches forward for us.
Okay.
Yep. And I'll switch on the strobe lights, so we've got the flashing lights on now as well. Push. Yep, pushing the park brake off. Push forward, good. Right hand on the thrust levers.
How much percent?
About 30%. And left hand on the tiller. Good. So we're going to steer the aircraft around to the right here and following these green lights onto the runway.
Okay.
Going around, bit of a long taxiway here out onto the runway. That's it. Nice and straight. Very good. So you can turn on the 2 retractable landing lights now. Waiting for our takeoff clearance.
556 cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, experience 556. Good, grab those thrust levers. Forwards up to the 10.
10.
That's it. Good, thrust set. Steering now with the pedals. It's a bit of left pedal. Very good. Keeping it nice and straight down that runway. Fantastic.
How is the speed to take off?
130, rotate, I'll call out rotate. Good, keep rolling along. Nice and straight. V1, both hands, rotate. Very good. Very nice. Aiming for 15 degrees. Bit of a forward push to hold that 15. Perfect. Can take the landing gear out and up.
Oh yeah.
Climbing. Very good. Flap in a moment. We're waiting for our speed. So we're going to go a little bit faster. 180 knots. Flaps to 1. Let's lower the nose to 10 degrees. And we'll just start to climb out a little bit less aggressive there. That's good. Let's go flaps up. Holding that nose up at 10 degrees.
Hold.
Power can come back to 80%. Very good. At about 2,400 feet now.
2,000?
That's it, looking for 3,000.
Okay.
So let's start to push the nose down to 5 degrees. So to the second line. We'll bring the power back to 40%. Letting that nose stay at 5 degrees. Very nice, there's 40%. About 4 or 5 degrees. Altitude's very stable. 250 knots. Wings are nice and level. The gear, it can come out to the middle to off.
Okay.
That's it. And then the auto brakes can go off as well. Fantastic. Let's start a left turn. So we're going to bank the aircraft to the left using the yoke. Turning like that. And around we go. Keeping that nose up at the about 3 or 4 degree position. And you'll see there that we've got our little turn indicator. We've got about a 15 degree angle of bank. Let's do 25. So halfway in between those two. Very nice. That's it. Well done. On the left side of your seat, beside your left knee, you'll see 2 dials.
Yep.
Yep, you can turn those around that way. That's it. And the big one as well, good. There we go. Looking good. After takeoff checklist, engine bleeds are on, packs are on, landing gear is up and off, and the flaps are up, no lights. After checks complete. After takeoff checks complete. It's good, you can see we're turning left onto this heading here.
Okay.
So we want to keep going around a little bit more until we get onto that dashed pink line. Very nice, holding that 3,000 feet. Fantastic. Looking good. So start to bring the wings back to level now. There's our airport down there.
Okay.
And we're heading out to the west. Very nice. We're going to descend to 2,000 feet. So I'll set 2,000 feet here on our MCP. And then you can start to bring the nose down just gently, about probably to the 1 degree. That's really good. You can bring the thrust as well back to idle, and that'll help the aircraft basically hold its speed as we descend. So going down to 2,000 feet. During our descent, we'll do some checks, making sure the auto brake is off. Perfect. The speed for our approach today is 138 knots plus 5, 143. So if you can set 143 in there for us, just by turning it around a little bit, 143.
143.
That's it. And that's 138 plus 5. And that gives you 143. Very nice. There's 2,000 feet. Holding 2,000 feet. Just for a little bit longer until the speed comes back a bit. Letting that speed wash off. And then setting our power back up to 40%. Fantastic. You're pretty good at this? You play a lot of Flight Simulator at home?
Most. Very nice.
Yeah. Alright, good stuff. So that there is going to be our guidance to get to the runway. When we line up on the approach, it's basically showing you what the runway looks like outside the window. So if the runway was on our right hand side like that, we have to be making a right hand turn to go across to the runway. If it's on the left, we turn left.
Okay.
But it only works when we're pointing straight towards it. So at the moment it's working in the opposite way because we're flying away from the runway. We're going to be turning, we'll come back in and we'll do a landing.
Turning?
Not just yet, waiting till we're about 7 miles, and then we'll be coming back around, following this pink line, probably for another 2 minutes or so. You can see, is that Miami down there on the left-hand side, the city? Have you been to Miami before? Looks like the city down there.
Yeah.
Got the ships.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. Holding that 2,000 feet.
On Miami Beach. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's it. Bringing that nose up just a little bit. Fantastic. So let's start getting some flap out. We'll go flap to 1. Perfect. And we can start our left turn. Experience 556, turning base, runway 27 for a touch and go.
Flight experience 556. Continue approach, report on final.
Continue approach, Wilco, experience 556.
Oh.
That's it. Good, so we want to try and keep this curved line here. We want to try and keep that on that runway. So just a little bit less. Back to the right a bit. Other way.
Oh, one way.
That's it, we want to just widen out that turn. That's good. Little bit more. Little bit more. Perfect. Perfect. Let's go flaps to 5. That's it. Flap 5. We can take our landing gear out and down. That's it.
Yes. Okay.
And just pushing forwards just a little bit. Very good. There's the airport coming around. There we go. Good, pulling up just a tiny little bit. Setting the flap now to 15. And keep turning to the left. That's it. Just to 15.
Okay, 50.
And turning left. There's our runway.
Yeah.
Want to line up, so keep going left. Keep turning left. That's it, good. Keep that left turn going. Fantastic.
What's
Can-
speed?
Where speed's coming back very nicely. Want to keep that nose up a little bit more. We're sort of diving a little bit towards the runway at the moment.
Flight experience
That's it.
556. Clear touch and go.
Clear touch and go, experience 556. Very good. Nose up, nose up, nose up. Much better. Very good. Alright. Let's go flaps back to 30, that's okay. Flaps to 30. And as the flap comes back, the speed will start to decrease very quickly. So we now want to set our thrust up to 70%. Up to the 7. That's it. Bit of a right turn. Flying straight down that runway center line. Looking good. Start switches continuous. Gear down through greens, flaps 30 green light. Very nice. Missed approach altitudes reset. Very good. Fantastic. Bringing that nose up just a little tiny bit. That's it.
Approaching minimums.
Now down slightly, holding it about there. That's good. So put your right hand on the thrust levers. Just fly with that left hand now. Keep aiming towards that runway. Looking really good here. Keep that nose down. Aiming towards that runway. Now looking up here. Looking up here. Keep the nose coming down. Gently thrust back to idle. All the way back. Holding that nose just very gently. Fantastic. Nose wheel coming down. Flaps 15. Pushing the thrust up. To 100%. So to the 10.
Oh shit.
That's it. Bring it back just a little bit. Steer with the rudder pedals. Both hands to the yoke and rotate. Beautiful, well done. That was perfect, absolutely perfect landing. Good stuff. Let's take that landing gear up. Very nice. Letting that nose come down to 15 just so we can get some more speed.
The speed's okay?
It's a little bit low. The nose is a little bit high, so we just lower the nose a little bit. That's it, then the speed will start to come up. Let's go for 10 degrees. Nice. Okay, we'll go flaps to 5. Good, speed's coming up. Nose is holding at 10, climbing to 3,000 feet. Very good. Flaps to 1. And then flaps can go up. Very good. Looking at 3,000 feet. Can bring our thrust back to 40%. Letting that nose sit at about 5 degrees. So about halfway between the horizon and 10. Very nice. Fuel master caution. We'll have a look in a moment. We're going to turn left first. So let's turn left onto a heading of 090. And maintaining that nice 3,000 feet with the nose at about second line. Good. After takeoff, we can switch the landing gear off. So you can switch that landing gear to the middle. That's it. Check engine bleeds are on. Packs are on. Landing gear is up and off. Flaps up, no lights. Perfect. Hey, Chief. Jag. Fantastic. So, if we could, we'll turn off the little fuel pumps there that are causing that warning. So these two switches, you can flick those off, and then we'll get rid of that warning because we've got no fuel there in the center tank anymore. So once we've used up all the fuel, there we go, very nice. Good turn, holding 3,000 feet, making a fantastic turn there onto the heading bug, which is set to 090. Thanks, mate. And there we go. That might be better for the throat. That's okay. So rolling out of that turn, setting 090. Very good. So I'll get you to turn the flight director on, flicking this little switch up. That's it. I'll set the little autopilot switch there for us. And if you like, you can have a quick drink. On downwind here, you can have a quick drink, and then we'll get back to the circuit. All set up. Command flying. All done. So if you want to have a quick drink, is your throat okay? Bit sore. A little bit better? Better. Perfect. Alright, I'll switch it off. Your aeroplane. Very good. Nice work. So again, we're flying out towards the east. Then we're going to make some left turns. As we get a little bit further out, we'll make some left turns and we'll come back into land. This time though, landing and stopping. Yep, one more landing and then stopping. And then we'll go to Hong Kong. Okay, so let's turn on our brakes. We'll go brakes to number 2. Perfect. We're also going to check the speed for the landing. 137 plus 5, 142. So this time 142. Yep, a little bit less, 100, that's it. A little bit fast. Perfect, 142. The other thing we can do, fasten seatbelt sign, off and then on. Tells the yep, as well, tells the cabin crew, because all the passengers are sitting down with their belts on, but the cabin crew might be still cleaning up, you know, getting the rubbish. That there tells them to take their seats. So let's descend now to 2,000 feet. We'll go thrust to idle, and nose down a little bit.
40%?
Right back to idle. Right back, that's it. Descending now down to 2,000. Very good. We can hold the nose at about the horizon or the first line, just somewhere in there, and that's a nice gentle way to descend to 2,000 feet. We don't want to come along and then down all of a sudden, everyone come out of their seats. That's it. Very good. We can set our flap to 1, and we can start that left turn if you like. Very nice. And yeah, good. Again, we're going to hold that turn around onto that runway. That's looking good. Looking really good. Very nice. Let's set flap to 5. It's the Miami Keys out here. All of the big ships in and around everywhere. Whereabouts do you live? Where do you live? Brazil. Just on holidays? On holiday at the moment? Yep. Very good. Alright, 2,000 feet, 40% thrust, just so we don't slow down too much. Good, and we're just going to turn all the way around onto that runway, so you can see there, lining up with that dotted line back to the runway, and then once we get lined up, pointing straight towards it, that marker there will shift across to the center. So a little bit further to go. We can take the landing gear down and then flap to 15. Yep, one more, and we're also going to arm the speed brake. So the speed brake can go up, back just a little bit. Perfect. Very good. Landing gear down, 3 greens. Flaps are 15. Speed brake armed. Start switches are continuous. Very good. We're looking really good. Holding 2,000 feet. Hold 2,000 feet. A little bit more of a left turn.
Flight experience 556. Continue approach. Report on final.
Continue approach. Wilco experience 556. You can see the runway coming across now. It's moving across because we need to turn a little bit more left, pointing straight down. Very good. Alright, let's go flaps to 30. Thrust up to 70%. Very nice. And we've got it pointing straight down. Fantastic. Experience 556 on final. Runway 27 for a full stop.
Flight experience 556. Cleared to land.
Cleared to land. Experience 556. Our speed 142. Really nice. Perfect. Start switch is a continuous, landing gear down 3 greens, flaps 30 green lights, speed brake, auto brake armed, 3000 is set, for a missed approach, 270, and we're cleared to land. Speeds 142, runway in sight, fantastic. Good, nose up just a little bit so we don't get too low. See how all the lights there are red?
All red.
A little bit too low. We want red and white. So a little bit higher. That's it. Just over to the right a bit more. There we go. And then pop your right hand on thrust levers, good. Holding it up just there, that's good. If we get too low, we scare everyone in this building here. So holding that nose up just a little bit. Very good. And then pointing down the runway. A little bit more. That's good. And left. There we go. That's good. Now nose down just a little bit. A little bit up. There we go. Red and white. Perfect. Holding that all the way down. Nose down, nose down. Still 100 feet. That's good. Okay, all the way back to idle. All the way back. Just gently raise the nose. And reverse thrust. Fantastic. Very nice. That's it, you can push the reverse thrust back down. That's it. With the tiller on the left hand side, we'll take the exit just here. That's it. Well done. So we'll just taxi over this way somewhere. And then the brakes at the very top. Squeeze those on. That'll bring us to a stop. You can set the speed brake back down. We'll pull the parking brake on and the auto brakes back around to RTO. Yep, that's for our next takeoff. And the 4 landing lights there, they can go off as well. Perfect. Yep, that's it. Leave those 2 on. And then just our landing lights. Fantastic. Very nice. Really nice landings. We'll go to Hong Kong. This one here is really good fun. Alright. Hong Kong's fantastic. Really is really fantastic. So get the flight management computer ready.
Recording the film?
Absolutely, yeah, we're recording the video as well. So you'll have video evidence that you did really nice landings. Okay, 142 set, 2000. Runway heading is 73073. The course is 088. That's it. Very nice. Our strobe lights are on. We can turn on our landing lights. The parking brake can go off. Right hand for the thrust levers.
Experience 556 cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, experience 556. Let's go 40%. Yep, so we'll go 40 and then we'll go to 100. When both engines get to 40, then up to the 10. Very good. Just a little bit less. There we go, perfect. And just steering with those pedals, perfect. Very nice. 80 knots. V1, rotate. That's it. 15 degrees. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. There we go. Gently coming down to 10 degrees.